Hello guys and welcome back to the channel. The Premier League season is now over, and if you're wondering what are you going to do to take up your time over the next over the next month until the Euros start, we'll look no further, because don't worry, UEFA have got that sorted, because we have 3 finals coming our way and an FA Cup final, which we'll get into. But first, it is time to talk about this Europa League final. This is a preview of it. I'm talking about what the teams are doing, how the teams are looking. I'm sure you've all heard about Leverkusen and their run this season, but you know, stuff about Atalanta you might not know, and how the teams are going to line up and how the teams are going to be facing each other. It's going to be interesting. Let's get into it. We're going to start obviously by talking about Leverkusen, because you just know we're going to talk about the league position, the league record, the key players and their season record. League position, they are the winners, right? They have won it. They have won the Bundesliga already, wrapped it up a few weeks ago. I just spoke about my weekend series, but yeah, unbelievable stuff. They have won it as the time of recording, 27-6-0, and I imagine that is going to stay as a 0 when this video is released. So yeah, that is an incredible record. It's going to be an invincible league season. They're in the final of the Cup as well, and in the final of the Europa League. It's going to be incredible. The key players that you're going to be looking for are Xhaka, who has come in and been a real leader in that team. Frimpong and Grimaldo are a key way to how they play, and we'll talk about how they play later. And then Florian Wirtz, who's their star man in the attack. He is the one pulling all the strings and doing all that dirty work in the attack. It's an incredible team that we've been playing, and the signings have been mint. So far, at the time of recording, 50 games have been played this season, and they've not lost a single one of them. They have 3 games at the time of recording. I said they've played one yesterday when this video's coming out. Weird maths. So it should be 51 games, and it should be a 42-9-0. It'll be crazy stuff no matter what happens here. The last time they actually lost was in the Europa League to Jose Mourinho's Roma on his way to the final last year, that they ended up losing. But that is an incredible run. That is an insane run. That is an untouchable run. These are the unbeatables. They are unbeatable. If you look at the road to the final, look at this. Road to the final, the group stage, beating Haken 4-0. Beating Maul 2-1, beating Karabakh 5-1, beating Karabakh 1-0. This game against Karabakh here, that 1-0 game, was a 90th minute winner. They've done it a lot this season. That Biki Haken game, 2-0 there, and then 5-1 against Maul. They can throw out a thrashing when they need to. 2-2 versus Karabakh with a 97th minute equaliser in that game, and then a 3-2 against Karabakh where it was a 93rd minute equaliser, and then an even later 98th minute winner of the game and putting them through into the next round. It's been incredible for them. 2-0 versus West Ham in the first leg there of the quarter final, and then 1-1 with it being another it was an 89th minute equaliser, I think, in that game against West Ham. Insane the way they've kept this run alive. It's mental. 2-0 against Roma and 2-2 against Roma, put them into the final, and that is just incredible. What a run it has been for them this season. Untouchable. They are untouchable this season, and as I said, 3 games left at the time of recording, and if they win all 3, this may be one of the best seasons you've ever seen in football. Incredible stuff Xabi Alonso is doing there. You can see why he's linked with so many big teams right now. But I'm glad he's staying at Leverkusen. I want to see what we can do in the Champions League next year, and if you can continue this run into next year too. But let's now talk about Atalanta. And once again, we're starting with the league position, the league record, the key players and that season record. And currently they are in 5th, which is a Champions League spot, thanks to how the coefficient works. Italy have got that coefficient spot confirmed. But Atalanta's season is not over yet. There's a few games left, and that position could still change for them, and they still might not finish 5th. They might get a Champions League spot, but they might have to play this game to get a Champions League spot. This might be their chance to get it. In the league, they've played, at the time of recording, 35 games. So they've got 3 games left to try and decide their fate for the end of the season. And they're so far gone 19-6-10, so they are partial to a loss. They know how it feels to losing a third of their games this season. It's not good at all. Going on to their key players is Toloi, the captain, Scamacca, the man up front who the play revolves around in the attack, De Kellaere and Kurt Myers, who are running the strings in midfield and doing all that dirty work that is needed for this Atalanta team to succeed. Obviously, with the manager being there now for 8 years, the Atalanta players are drilled. They know where to play, and they've done really well this season in getting a season record of 29, 10 and 12. As you can see, outside of the league, they have not lost many games at all. They've done really well this season. That's a crazy good record. As I said, it is mental. But the biggest stat here, I've not actually got on the screen, was the fact that they've scored 100 goals this year. That's mental. For this Atalanta team that's in 5th, they know how to score goals, and Bayer Leverkusen need to be wary of that. Their road to the final looks a bit different. The 2-0 win against Rakau, 2-1 against Sporting, 2-all against Sturm Graz, 1-0 against Sturm Graz, 1-all versus Sporting, and 4-0 versus Rakau. So beating Rakau in both games, and then dropping points to Sturm Graz and Sporting in their away games, but then beating them at home. A very strong home record for Atalanta. 1-all against Sporting in that next round as well, and then 2-1 against Sporting in the round after, in the game after that, putting them through. I think Atalanta have had a tougher run to the final than Leverkusen. Leverkusen have a nice run to the final, but look at this next game, Liverpool 3-0 at Anfield. It shows you can get a result against teams people don't think they got a chance against. It shows that this team knows how to get a result in these massive games, and they got a massive result there against Liverpool at Anfield. Losing only 1-0 at home as well, it's not bad at all for them. 1-all against Marseille, and then that 3-0. I had Marseille as, you know, the dark horses of this competition. The way Aubameyang's been running through, I've been bigging up Marseille through every stage of this competition whenever I've done a video before the round. But Atalanta put an end to that. As I said, I think Atalanta have done a massive, massive achievement to get to the final here. So let's talk about how the teams line up, and this is going to take a second because I've got to get all my players on the pitch. We're going to start with how Atalanta line up, and they do start with a back three. It's a back three that kind of can rotate into a back four when needed. If left back goes up here, Kolasinac can move across as a solid left back, and then he can just drop the right back a bit deeper and move into a back four. But typically they do, not that, thank you very much. Typically they do stick to this rigid formation of being defensively sound and allowing the wing backs to come up high with 2 centre mids that know how to control that midfield, followed by a target man in Scamacca, and then 2 people in Lookman and De Kellaere to bounce off of the target man and then feed it back into him for him to get a goal. I've pressed the wrong button there. But yeah, that is how Atalanta line up, and it's going to come into something in a second in how I think this might help them actually beat Leverkusen. Leverkusen, they typically have started with a 4-back this season, but when they've been to the tougher games, they have actually gone to a 3-back, and I think the 3-back will be needed in this game to cope with that attack and following the players correctly. And it allows Frimpong and Grimaldo a bit more space to be influencing the attacks. As I said, they are very key players to how this team's playing. With Palacios and Xhaka coming to the midfield, or it can be Andrich. Xabi Alonso has a lot of trust in his midfielders, and in a similar way, kind of to how Atalanta are attacking, they have that Adli in strike, and then they have to bounce off of him, they have Florian Wirtz and Nathan Teller, who was at Southampton last year. It's a crazy turnaround for this. He was, he's coming. Was it Southampton last year? No, he was at Burnley last year. He was at Burnley in the Championship last year. Sorry, he came from Southampton to Leverkusen, and they've done incredible with him in the team, and it's amazing. But anyway, coming on to how I think Leverkusen can, break this team apart. As I said, I think, well, not Leverkusen, Atalanta can break this Leverkusen team apart. Leverkusen are going to be the favourites of this game right now. But if this back line stays solid, they can do some damage, and it all comes into allowing Leverkusen to put a bit of pressure on and trusting the players that are on the ball to play the ball at the right time. Because if Frimpong and Grimaldo come high up onto these fullbacks, what needs to actually happen is for Kurt Myers here to come into this space on the wing, and for Kolasinac to play that ball, and it leaves this space in between. Because you'll see Florian Wirtz cutting in the middle, centre back follow him, space comes here, Scamacca there. This is Ole Gunnar Solskjaer tactics at its finest. Obviously, it's not how they might play. Like, it might end up being of, you know, we allow the fullback to attack and bringing in you over there, and that being the midfielder pushing on to Frimpong, marking Frimpong, pulling Frimpong back, and then the counter attack spreads onto the wing backs. The wing backs attack it and do the damage where Leverkusen are trying to do their damage, and then it's quick, it's fast, and all of a sudden Leverkusen almost hit them. Kovar in net has done really well all season in the Europa League. Obviously he's not the league goalkeeper, but he probably will be playing in this final. It is going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be a lot of head-to-head battles. I said Kurt Myers versus Xhaka is going to be a massive one in the midfield. How the wing backs attack each other. Obviously, you are going to find Atalanta's wing backs are going to be sat back a lot more to try and deal with the threat of Florian Wirtz and of Nathan Telles to try and back up their centre backs and then double up on the attackers. But then obviously, because they're going to get doubled up on as well, it's just a game of chess. It's a long game of chess. And then Xhaka, and I think it comes to a low block. You allow Kelleher to get back, and then you leave Lookman and Skamaka up front with a lot of space here, and then it's a quick counter attack. That's all it takes. Obviously, a strong defence from Tapsoba, Tar, and Hincapié. They know how to defend. They know how to deal with this type of attack, but the chances will be there. Atlanta are not going to come out of this game without chances. Leverkusen have let teams have chance after chance after chance all season, and these are the places where it's come from. It's come from the fullbacks getting a bit too happy in the attack and getting too involved in the attack, and all of a sudden that counter attack happens and you're done. And Atalanta are a really good team for that counter attack style of play, and they'll give you a bite. They will give you a bite, and it might, you know, throw things off. Oh, what have I done there? Oh my god. But yeah, it might throw things off. And then it comes to, now, the winner. Who do I think the winner's going to be? Who do I think is going to win this competition? And come on now. I spoke about how Atalanta can break apart this Leverkusen team for a reason. Not how this Leverkusen team can break apart Atalanta, because I feel like Leverkusen can break down Atalanta. And that's why I think Leverkusen are going to win it. I think Leverkusen are going to walk away with a European trophy. They're going to get a treble, an invincible treble at that. And it will be an incredible achievement in football. And it'll just be wow. You know, people talk about the Invincibles, but you always talk about how they lost in the Champions League, how they lost in the FA Cup, how they lost in the League Cup. This team's not losing. This team ain't losing anytime soon, and it is incredible. Witness this generation, witness it, just enjoy it. But yeah, that is the end of this video now, guys. Let me know who you think is going to win the Europa League. Now, I've told you all this information about Atalanta. As I said, you've probably already heard it all about Leverkusen this season. Thank you for watching, guys. If you liked the video, please leave a like. You want to see more, subscribe, because there's more on this channel all the time. Thank you for watching, guys, and hopefully I will see you next time. Cheers.